This is the video review for the combined form of the Dragon Force Season 3 set by Oddly, a Chinese company. I got the Voyager sized figures, which are about this big. They come in 3 sizes. They also come in a deluxe size, which does not combine. And they also come in a leader class size, which is much larger. This set actually has 5 different combinations according to the directions. So I'm going to go over all of those forms. For these combinations, you also need to buy these optional parts which come separate. So this is actually made of 4 different parts. There's these 2 boosters, this frame, and then this chest piece. So we'll start by taking these all apart and separating them. Next, we'll start combining the weapons. The shark weapons actually do not combine into a larger weapon. So you start with the sword. You're going to take out the blade from the combined mode head. And then you combine the deer antlers to the tip of the sword using these peg holes. Next, you take the 2 guns from the wolf and you peg those together, and that makes the body of the sword, and then there's a little clip on the inside of that the blade clips back into. And there is the combined weapon. Not too bad. Okay, we'll start with the red lion. So we pull off the shoulder armor. We're going to pull off this back booster piece, and then pull out the lion head to make some space. Then the head rotates back out of the way. The midsection rotates to the back of the body. And then you rotate the arms around about to a 90-degree angle. So this is the front of the chest. And then on the rear, you're going to reclip that booster pack. And then the legs are going to fold up, and these clips will clip here on the booster pack to hold everything secure. And then you put the shoulder armor onto the side of this booster block, and then the other one on the other side. And that's basically the chest block all done. Next, the 2 legs will transform the same way. So you open the chest block, fold in this armor that covers a gap, fold down the beast head, and then fold the chest armor back up, fold the arms to the back, and clip the shoulders together. And then you tidy up the beast legs so that they're kind of out of the way like this. Next, you're going to fold up the knees all the way so that this little clip clips into the back of the thigh, and then you fold out the beast legs, and then fold down the robot feet as much as you can into the calf. And then you'll have this shape. And that's one leg done. And then you do the exact same thing with the other leg. Now for the gorilla, you rip off both of his arms, and then from those arms you rip off these shoulder spikes. And then you can set those arms aside for later, and then these will become feet for certain modes. And there's some nice rubber on the bottom. And then get the rest of the torso ready. The thighs, you're going to fold in these legs. You just collapse them in. And then you're going to turn the whole figure around, rotate the gorilla feet out of the way, and these will become the knees. And this is the hip skirt, very nice looking. And then you're going to rotate the whole chest section, and you'll feel a slight click when it clicks into place. And then you're going to move this head out of the way and down the best you can, and there's your waist and thighs. Finally, we come to the shark, and then we just rip off its wings, because sharks have wings. And then we're going to rip his whole body in half. And you fold in his head half. So now you have half a body. You're going to fold the leg around and the foot all the way up. And there's a little clip to guide that in place. And then a little tab here, or a little slot that connects to this tab here. And then you're going to assemble the front of the shark by folding up the arm. And the fist is basically going to go where the mouth of the shark is. And you just have to arrange it till it fits correctly. So you're going to get this shape, and then you fold the whole thing in half. And it will clip into place. Here's both the shark halves, and those are going to become shoulder pads. Here's the basic layout of all the shapes before we start combining. The first configuration is going to use the lion and the gorilla. So you're going to pull these boosters off the backpack section. You're going to combine these two sections with this joint right there. We'll tab into the underside of the lion. Then you're going to use these optional jet booster parts, and you're going to open them up all the way on these pistons, and then you're going to slide the foot spikes. Will go into there, and they'll clip into place to make a leg. Now you have your two legs. You're going to clip those to the bottom of the gorilla feet. Oh, and you need to fold out this set of clips right here. So that's most of the body done. And then next you're going to fold up this black section and clip the shoulder armor onto that. And that will clip back into the torso. Same with the other side. And then finally you take the headpiece, and that goes into a hole on the top of the lion head. And then you push back the lion head to lock that in place. And here's the first combined mode. Not too bad. Pretty interesting look to him, especially the head sculpt. Kind of looks like a Spartan or a Trojan warrior. It has a crest on the top. Not too bad. And pretty good, considering you only used 2 robots to make this form. To really make him look finished though, you do have to put on the optional lion head. So you're going to fold these shoulder parts forward, so these gray parts, and that will open up a tab that you tab the giant lion head onto. Okay, so that opens up these clips here, and then those clip into these blue clips here. And that completes his overall look. Next, the shark is going to join the combination, so you take off these shoulder pads, and those clip back onto this backpack. And now the shark shoulder pads will clip on to the gorilla arms. And then finally the wings will attach to the legs. And on this side. So now you have this 3-robot combiner. For the next form, we're going to remove the shark pieces and we're going to use the legs instead. So there's 2 little posts on the side of these feet, and those are going to post into the inside of the legs to finish off these leg forms. And then next you're going to pull off these thruster legs from the gorilla legs, and then you're going to combine the deer and the wolf parts instead. Okay, and now we have the 4-robot combiner. For the next combination, you're going to entirely remove the red chest, and then you assemble the optional pieces back into a block. So you take the thrusters, and they clip into this kind of bow shape. And then you take the giant lion head, and that's going to clip into the front here. So this will make the replacement chest block. You open up this combining tab, and then clip this on top here. And then you're going to put the head into that crossbow extra piece. and then reattach the arms onto that crossbow piece. Then you reattach the shark shoulders. And then you're going to take the wing piece and clip that onto these thruster pieces on the back. And finally, this combined sword clips onto his forearm. And then one step I forgot is you clip these shark guns onto the shoulders. And here is his combined form with 4 of the robots. So now all that's left is his final form. So for his final configuration, we reinstalled the red core, and now the wings are going to clip onto the red thrusters on his backpack. Okay, and now that the wings are installed, you take the thruster pieces, and these are going to clip onto the backs of the wings. And then finally, he gets to hold his sword in his hand. So there's a little slot in the hilt, and there's a post in his fist, and you can plug that right in there. And this is his fully combined mode with all 5 robots. I like to flip his wings around so they're facing up, but they kind of get lost in the shark shoulder pads. They're pretty hard to see back there. And this bow piece is the only piece that's not used for this combination, which is kind of disappointing. Here's how he scales with a couple of other combiners. He's about the size of a regular Combiner Wars figure. I'm going to show the articulation of this figure, and I expect that a lot of his parts are going to fall off, which is a big downside of this figure. So he's got elbow articulation, but it's very loose, so he can barely even hold his sword without it sagging. He's got bicep swivel, which is nice, and then good motion on the shoulder up and down, and then a little bit of outward motion on a very soft ratchet. His head rotates a little bit, so you can get some articulation there. He's got a fair amount of out on the waist, and the skirt moves out of the way, so he's got a good spread on the waist. And then for the knee articulation, not quite 90 degrees, but a respectable amount of bend on that. And then he's got a complete swivel at the knee as well, and a little bit of a ball joint to make up for the fact that he doesn't have any ankle articulation, and this won't pivot at all. So actually this figure held together pretty well, even though everything's held together with these little tiny clips. They're very small, maybe 3 millimeters. That's especially a problem for this whole wing section, is it's just held on by this one clip right there. That holds the whole amount of all this weight. So it's very easy to knock off the wings. So overall, I like this figure. It's very complicated and not at all intuitive. I had to look at the directions a lot, especially for the combined modes. I would say in hand, he probably feels maybe like the plastic quality is probably something like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's not great, but it's not bad either. It's a decent plastic, and I'm not really worried about it breaking, but it's also very light. And then as far as how much fun and value you get out of this figure, I would also rate that maybe around a 4. He's a little fiddly. I think the aesthetic, the style is very cool. The colors work out really nicely. And the proportions are really great once you get him totally assembled. And it's pretty cool that he has so many different modes. But I think how complicated he is actually ends up making him really difficult. And this would not be a good figure for a kid, so I'm not sure exactly who would play with this. You'd have to be definitely an older kid to be able to keep track of all these parts. But overall, I got mine for a very good price at sirtoys.com, and I recommend that you get yours there as well. Until next time.